Hello, good afternoon on the 2nd of February. I'm here cultivating, well, perhaps my new habit to be on the hike and keeping the updates coming, as this is just more efficient time use this way. And it was a bright sunset here that brightened the day, and this, well, by the surprise, today I was inspired to edit a cinematic clip upon this template from our bouldering session where we were previously after the candidate photo shoot, and I had this braid there, and I'm kind of inspired by this, how let's see if we can get it here. It then ends to that funny cartoon clip, the surprised mouse who looks through the window, and I was this clip in its total quality will be found on my channel. Check it out there for the whole perspective, but I was really thrilled how comedy effect that cartoon clip gave in the end, because and I'm so glad that I have those clips, because I can edit them here and there for the humor that we naturally have as part of our second nature on this journey. That's very essential when we navigate through all the goodness and challenges that we face while glimping towards the new heights. So now quickly I'm gonna check it out Snaptrack, this time earlier of the day. And I was about to say that coincidentally, since I got the inspiration to edit that clip when I opened TikTok, after editing it, coincidentally, there was a live stream going where a relatable guy from my how would I say, teenage years was there having a live, and the live was about this, it was organized by this Finnish podcast that is somewhat new right now, but the thing is that at first they talked about all kind of life lessons by this Dudson character, and then the person itself behind it, and it was so relatable, all the thoughts about, for example, burning out and learning to say no. Jukka told that when he was in the most in midst of all the whims of the activities, at some point he got burned out so bad that he just got to draw a circle and then put inside the circle everything what he wants to be, and outside of the circle what he doesn't want to be. And he didn't want to be such things as, helper, or or how I say funnily in Finnish, jeesaaja, in the sense that everybody were just asking help from him, and at last he was just going down the stairs, and in the very bottom of the things was himself, where lastly he didn't have time left for caring about his own mental health and conditions, and the things what he cared and wanted to do, because all the time went for helping others and giving advice for others. So he really had to reprioritize the things. And he also told, I'm just pointing out a couple highlights that were left on tip of my tongue. And he also pointed out that what was funny to him was that he has liked to read different kind of self-help literature and books or novels that tell about that help in that sense. But still, even though he had read good advice and very valuable pieces of advice, he found himself that he had to learn each lesson the hard way by himself anyway. So at some point he just thought to himself that, I read about this sometimes earlier, and now I do the mistake that I learned about this earlier, and how I kept doing this, how I kept doing. He wondered that how he keeps doing the same mistakes that he already learned from a book and read about in a book. And that's perfectly what books are for. Books are essentially the valuable knowledge and wisdom that takes so much time to write down that if somebody spends the time doing so, they really want to help and make sure that somebody else doesn't do. Or at least not if books are not only about mistakes, but they really want to help the reader in the quality content that that will give some kind of shortcut in the issue, so that the reader then doesn't have to reinvent the wheel again when they go through those same relatable experiences in their life. At least that is the perspective what I'm writing my books, Living Relations, Passing Distance. In the essence, it's all about giving the relatable dialogue and conversations and issues and challenges within relations for the reader in advance, so that they don't have to tackle and spend the same amount of valuable time that I have been doing so. And or I can, the time I have spent, there is a lot of good to it, since when you go through the deep conversations, you are at the same time building the foundation for the relation. So what I'm saying that you can have those, I'm giving the examples in the book that you can have this kind of conversations, and this was how it went, and these were the topics, and there are thousands. I mean, there is at least one valuable thing or attractive soundbite on every page of my book. That is how I would You can find on every page, you can find what is attractive, what is not, and what is valuable in the deep sense of value, the sense that you cannot kind of buy, or what is not, because both are similar way, both are important and necessary to know what is and what is not. When we are in the middle of choosing the choices that we make. So back to Jukka. Now I want to branch it out from the podcast. And yeah, so where I was saying that Jukka just kind of brought his self-awareness into light that, oh, I have read about this piece of advice, and still I had to learn it myself the hard way. when I'm gonna do it the other way around. And that was then he got burned out. Even I got burned out a couple times even, and then he kind of if I remember right, he said that he has also he has skipped making notes about the things that he could have done better. Yes, he has been analyzing the things, so he also had to learn to say no, because everybody were asking just things to do, and he had to say no. And then when others said no, he used to ask why, and thereby he kept notes and analyzed that what he could himself do better in those situations and so forth. So why, in the kind of when the context was the business life and the collaborations and so forth, but I understood that the context was also more kind of a personal relations also, where he just politely wanted to know when something wasn't agreed on. He politely wanted to know like why you were not pleased with this thing, and how could I have done something else better. What else? Ask. That is essential, and he told that he kept notes about those situations, and that is really I wanted to pick that up because that is so important. I'm personally, it has been so long my second nature. I am doing that thing. I'm keeping the living diary for myself. This is just a small part of it, but I'm keeping because that is all within the progress of going forwards, right? You gotta have something tangible, but also the intangible, non-tangible thoughts that are kind of tangibles. They are kind of, when you got the analysis, it's kind of the ladder forwards or upwards in the virtuous spiral of goodness. It's kind of upwards. The thoughts, the analysis, you gotta make the ladder for yourself. In a famous series, there's this saying that chaos is a ladder, but what is that series? But I see more clearly that the movement forwards comes from the spiral of goodness and the ladder that you build for yourself, and around that ladder your thoughts and the analysis and the dialogue you keep up with yourself, those are the building blocks, how would I say? Those are the building steps, and in the most essential nature of yourself. I mean, the person you talk with the most is yourself, I would say. Last night, this brings to mind that last night I wrote a kind of family letter about a condition within the Family Life Matters last night, and while I wrote it, it was kind of a small essay, but it was so kind of wonderful of nature that I thought to myself, hey, why have I not written more this kind of longer perspectives for the family? Because think about it, within every family and within its members there is one of the kind communication culture, and you gotta cultivate the constructive culture in a way that your and each family member's creativity is allowed to grow, but most importantly that each family member is allowed to make mistakes, and not only mistakes or not only just right answers, but just relaxedly and chilly and loosely just wonder about life. Within every family there should be that kind of constructive communication culture that you can just wonder and let loose and have a relaxed conversations about anything. Instead that family members are judgmental about what each one says or what is allowed to speak of and so forth. You gotta think about it. And somebody gotta cultivate that healthy conversation culture, the communication culture within each family or friend circle or within best friends group or within old best friends and new friends, with your childhood friends, between your childhood friends and your newly found romantic partner even. You gotta cultivate, when you want to connect the bridges, somebody gotta cultivate the healthy constructive culture that the new meeting persons are getting to know each other in a healthy constructive manner, and make it possible. Make events together, go to bouldering, go to have a lunch together, make a dinner together, and so forth. Somebody gotta cultivate it, and it is cultivated when you are together, when you are discussing together, when you are having conversation together. And good conversations are one of the funniest but also the most interesting thing in life, in all humanity, if you ask me. I enjoy good conversations to my soul and to my bones the most. So and I think I'm not saying that there always must be conversations. No, it's also golden to be silent, but I'm saying that there is always vibe, some kind of vibe, and sometimes you don't even have to speak anything when you have the good vibe, and then you can have there the kind of conversation anyway with less words. But still, nonetheless, good conversation is really the building block towards anything, towards new hates, towards new meetings, towards new human relations. living relations passing distance. There is always a good conversation between. And that is kind of the point. The good conversations might be within yourself, dialogue with yourself, or with others, and then how you connect. But sadly, I want to point out that now today within the youth, for example, and young adults, there's a lot of kind of mental challenges. And what I see, what is sad, that sometimes the young people start to think about that it's unnormal, that it's not normal when you, for example, speak to yourself. No, it's normal. You should practice speaking to yourself, because that is the beginning of everything. You should have thoughts within yourself and so forth, but just have it all with patience, and thereby you can progress the thoughts even better and make it more clear to yourself even. Like that is the most normal thing, but what I'm worried is that within the youth, sometimes these normal things are labeled as crazy or even diagnosed with some mental health issues. And that just tells me that there should be way much more and better. There should be way better just communication culture and the ethics and the etiquette, what is healthy. Really. Because the social media platforms and comparison of people and success, they bring new kind of mental pressures for people, and sometimes people forget to have the healthy, good conversations even within themselves, like what's real. And then what's the saddest part is that when somebody is kind of wondering out loud about these things, what's going on with life, then some professionals are labeling those young persons as with diagnosis, and that's just something I'm very, very worried about. Diagnosis and medicine is not really the answer to the root cause of those loud wonders what young people are facing upon this world. So that is one thing I want to, the real solution to that is better communication and more constructive communication culture, and somebody gotta cultivate it. And I want to be one of the good cultivators towards the more open and valid freedom of speech and better communication culture. So with these thoughts, it's been quite a while walking here already, but let's see, 28 minutes already. So with these thoughts, lastly, since last night and a couple previous nights, I have checked Snapchat so late, and this time I won't. This time I will be here in the beginning of the evening checking it. So just the one person who has been in touch with as of late. So let's see. Her snap track, the A, 7 hours ago. Oof, sounds good, all those delicacies. and now I gotta search up that you know, last night I had this dessert and I snapped a picture about it to her. That was I haven't ever tasted this kind of a delicious dessert, and now she says that she gotta Google this, and she thanks it. So it was it was kind of this cream cheese mousse with raspberry and lychee yam and with roasted white chocolate. And she asked if it's some kind of sauce or berry. So I'm saying that's why I wanted to taste it. Yep, that's why I wanted to search it up, since it was interesting. There was that interesting taste. So I was thinking if that lychee yam would fit into smoothies. Of course, smoothies is the dinner passion. I mean, not dinner, but the after gym workout, after gym recovery drink or food. The other chat, I mean, I responded. Somebody posted that they are having a coffee, and I posted quite a lifestyle, and she says it is. And I'm saying I would go rather with smoothie in addition to that. You know, somebody posted that they are having a coffee at the railway station, and she's replying right away. So let's see. Anyways, I let her reply and take her time to type. I'm already heading here back at home after this good hike, and it was good to have this conversation with you, and those points that stayed on my tip of tongue from the Leave podcast episode. Oh, and by the way, now it brings to mind, in the podcast session they talked about all these life topics that were relevant to Jukka, but the last question that they asked was that what Jukka thinks about cryptocurrencies, and Jukka answered that cryptos are a wonderful thing, and he said that the current central banking system is on the way to, I don't remember exact word how he said, you gotta check out the podcast, but he said that the system is on the way of reform, on the way to being kind of reinvented and reformed, or on the way of collapse. And I at that point I already typed to the live stream that good answer, Jukka, to the end. And then he continued the answer somehow like this last question that will be funny to see how they answered in 20 years, but he continued that he thought about something that he is developing. Was it chia farm? So he said that he is having a chia farm, and that might turn out to be perhaps the thing that is his pension plan in the end, when everything else has withered out. So I say here that well, my perspective personally is that at this current phase of the world where there is both and Jukka also said that cryptos are very early. So yeah, that I agree on, that we are currently having the both ways of the world. The central banking system and the cryptos are the new way. So we shall live with both. And I don't recommend day trading because it's very challenging to anybody, but what I can easily recommend to anybody is that be invested in both ways of the world. Both ways, you know? Be investing a little bit of a time every week or every month. Invest a little bit to whatever is your choice of the new currency. Is it Ethereum? Is it Shiba? Is it NFTs? I'm personally very bullish on NFTs because they are not only currencies, but they are visible pieces of investments that have identities, because you can show them in your profile pictures, and everything is about platforms these days. Everybody has their profile in a way or another, so it's not just some stock somewhere, but it's visible piece of art that is kind of having story and identity. That's why I'm so bullish on NFTs. But in addition of that, NFTs are having utilities. They are like tickets. They are passes they are the keys to these evolving ecosystems, and what's more importantly, evolving communities that make and work for the roadmap of these NFTs, which constantly allow more and more utilities for the NFT holders. So, do your research. This is not investment advice and anything like that. Do your research what's worth to invest in. Find the communities. Because, I'm a candidate to the parliament in Finland here. I'm very the kind of person who would make the European Union to recognize the importance of DAOs and the importance of NFTs and the importance of community-driven workforce. That is really the labor of the future. In my vision, the labor will transform from being employees and employers towards community-driven employers and employees. Like the workplace will be more and more community-driven. That is my vision. And we gotta recognize by law and by the union and by the country that we are supporting the futuristic development towards the new way of the work. With these thoughts, much more about this to come. I will write a blog post about these thoughts and how the future will fold and unfold and unleash upon these new pillars of the future. I have been thinking about that, otherwise I wouldn't be a candidate. With all those, we will see the next time. Peace out. Lastly, I was searching the picture for the dessert I had, and here it is. Sushi, yam, raspberry jam. Oh, and lastly, let's check out the reply from the chat that was just typing it in real time. She says, nah, it gotta be coffee. I say, yeah, yep, but along with it. And then, what are 3 red flags in a guy's bedroom? That's about it. Perhaps we have the answer the next time.